Hello everyone, I'm Andrew and this is Yan Heng. And we have our friend Owen, who is behind the screen that's also helping us with the live stream. Today, we'll be talking about the generalization of what food waste is and what are the consequences and the causes of food waste generally. Food loss and food waste can also happen through all the stages of the supply chain. This means that this also happens when us, the consumers, haven't even seen or touched the food and the food has already been wasted. Food loss and food waste occur at all stages of the food supply chain: production, processing, logistics, consumption, etc. With the current conversation on food waste, you might be asking yourself, how much food is being wasted? Well, here are the statistics on a global scale and according to statistics from ucdavis.edu. 1/3 of the food that we eat is being wasted. As a result, all of the food that got wasted could have been donated to a starving individual or a family in need. As all the food produced would be sufficient to feed 2 million people, it is hard to visualize. Just imagine 9,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools being filled up with food waste. It's crazy to think something like that, isn't it?
Now, with us knowing that basic information, let us view a video about how food waste can be converted to other uses and not go to waste. So, where else can the food go? I hope that after watching the video, it will inspire you to save food. Some of you people watching right now might be asking, well, how do we save food, you might ask? Well, maintaining a good habit of looking at the expiry date of the product, planning ahead of what you want to buy, being creative with leftover food, or you could use the GoodHood app that we're about to introduce later. So, while we're on this right now, how do we keep our food longer?
Now what you do is you start by putting your food in a plastic bag. This is some beef chuck. Then you seal the plastic bag almost all the way, leaving just about an inch open. Next, you take a tub or a pot of water and you gently lower the food down into it. Now, as the food goes down, the water pressure is going to push all of the air out of that bag. You want to keep going down until just that little corner of the bag that you left open is about to be submerged. And just before it goes underwater, you seal it off. And there we have food that is stored in a completely air-free bag with no vacuum sealer.
Now, I hope everyone knows how vacuuming food helps to conserve some of your food longer after watching this tutorial. The GoodHood app is one of the many apps that helps to save food. If you have any leftover food or unused ingredients, you can post this on the GoodHood app for the people in need to receive.
You can also volunteer your time to join various meaningful events in the app. You can also download GoodHood now and you can make a difference in someone's day in terms of food. Now, the QR code is also being displayed on the sides. So, while on the conversation of GoodHood, we have arrived at the food rescue event that GoodHood introduced us to. Let us now watch the video.
Pause. Here are some more information about D2L and GoodHood.sg after some clarification. First of all, GoodHood wasn't the one who informed us about the food rescue in the upcoming video. It was D2L.sg, who partners GoodHood, where all surplus food saved by D2L.sg is distributed on GoodHood. The upcoming video will show a surplus food saving event organized by D2L.sg. This is just one of the many surplus food saves that D2L.sg does every single day. They help businesses become zero waste by recovering and redistributing their surplus food on GoodHood app. The GoodHood.sg we have introduced to you earlier is the homegrown neighborhood app that aims to revive the kampang spirit in Singapore. Do follow at D2L.sg and at GoodHood.sg on IG to learn more about them. This is also one of the criteria to get a chance to win big prizes. Okay, now let's head back to the video and take a look at the surplus food saving event at Expo. Hi, we are now at the D2L East Location Food Rescue event, and as you can see, there are a lot of volunteers that come today. This is our first time here, so we'll see what we can do to help to reduce the food waste problem. Let's go! As you can see, there are so much food that are not being consumed. These food rescue activities allow us to rescue this food and give it to where it belongs, someone's stomach and not to the bin. The food being collected can be shared among your family and friends, or give it to someone who needs it through the GoodHood app. Your small action can make a big difference. Let's together do our part to reduce the food waste problem.
Now, while we were at the food rescue event that was introduced to us by GoodHood, we were able to interview some members that were there as well as some people of the community about what they have done regarding food waste and how they usually save their food and prevent food wastage.
What do you think about the current food waste problem?
Yeah, it's getting worse and worse, but as waste can be reduced now. So the more wastage is happening also, there are more waste in reducing also. Like for example, there's rescue teams being formed, and from that we try to rescue more food and been given to someone who really needs them, not to the bin. That means it's better to go into someone's stomach than to the bin. So from this we can start saving the, that means reducing the food wastage now. And what you need to buy, what you can eat, cook, don't waste. If you have extra, you can share with someone who needs it. Your neighbors, your friends, and your relatives, or even if you don't know them, there are so many apps down there, so you can share it on the platform. So even if you don't know them, you can let them know your location. They are willing to come and collect. That's what I do.
I think the food waste situation in Singapore is definitely increasing and worsening because nowadays people are spending more time outside, they eat more, they buy more as well. So a lot of times perhaps they are not very aware of the kind of food waste that we generate. Right, if they have leftovers outside the restaurants, or if you overbuy and then they expire after some time when you don't use them. So actually food waste is one of the largest waste streams in Singapore, and it's quite a big amount. You know, it's actually worldwide. Can fill up 9,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools with the amount of food waste that we're generating.
I think that the problem is very severe as people are not cautious about what they eat and what they throw away. And this leads to a lot of food wastage.
I mean, most of us have been taught not to waste food since we were young. But honestly, I don't really know the actual impact or say the consequence of wasting food lah, other than wasting money.
I know it's a bad thing to waste food. I also seldom waste food, but actually I don't see it really affect us that much.
I feel quite disappointed because it takes quite a lot of time and effort to produce the food that we eat. Then because we all know that the price of the food is increasing because of inflation, and the supply globally is getting lower. It is sad because the money and the food could have been given to someone who actually needs it. Because many are suffering from hunger, and to see people wasting food just doesn't sit well with me.
What have you done to help to reduce this food waste problem?
Yeah, I recently joined a few rescue teams, like instantly for today also. That means I collect food from the app or maybe like from the locations, and then I bring home. I try to put it into my WhatsApp group, any group or Facebook or something, or even to my neighbors even, and share it to not to the team.
I think first we should maybe make it a habit to really finish what we can and only consume what we can consume, because sometimes we overestimate or we overbuy and therefore we lead to a lot of surplus food. So that's one. Secondly, to educate people around you on the importance of checking expiry dates to make sure that you can finish what you buy. And also, there are a lot of food rescue groups now that distribute surplus food to less fortunate people or less privileged people. So some of these groups like E2L, they rescue food that are left over from events or even merchants and retailers. So that's a good way to help out and to reduce the waste and distribute them to people who need them more.
Personally, I try to solve it by ensuring that I finish the amount of food I buy. Yeah.
I myself try to finish all the food I brought. But of course, sometimes I also let some go to waste, especially when handling meat and fish. It's very difficult to clear out all the edible parts up. And sometimes we can't finish the food, and I don't know where it can go other than the bin.
I mean, I eat my friend's food if that counts.
I haven't actively tried to solve it per se, but I always try to make sure that I finish the food that I buy, or just like buy the right amount for myself or my family and friends lah. If I cannot finish, then usually I will keep it as leftovers in containers, or like give it to my cousins who live nearby. And I also frequently do volunteer work, and most of it is like ration distribution, where we give out the food or stuff that people don't need to the needy. But honestly, I don't think I have done enough to lessen this issue, and I really hope that I can contribute more towards solving this global issue lah.
Food waste can impact us, as when food is wasted, the food waste generated will add to the pile of other waste and therefore contribute to the total amount of waste generated in the landfills. It also costs billions of dollars in lost revenue. This puts a tax on natural and human resources and harms the environment by contributing to global warming and climate change, when food waste is added to landfills and produces the greenhouse gas methane. Since food waste is getting more serious, we can have a challenge for you guys to help alleviate the situation of food waste. If you guys have any good ideas or suggestions on how to encourage the community to save food, do DM us in our Instagram and Facebook account. As we all know, the world population is expanding along with the amount of food wastage. This not only threatens our food security, but is also a huge contributor to global warming, leading to an increase to our nation's carbon footprint.
Therefore, we decided to carry out this challenge for you, to gather the innovative and fantastic ideas from you on how to encourage the community to save food together. With just a few people who can only do so little, but with the strength and ideas from everyone around, we can do so much more. Prizes will be given to the top 5 most impactful ideas. Let's all come together to create a zero food waste community.
Now, in order to submit it to us, here are the criteria on participating on the challenge.
From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you so much for allowing us to take a part of your time for this section. If you have any questions regarding food waste or about our presentation, feel free to comment on our Instagram and Facebook posts. This page will be active from now until the 20th of December 2022.
Thank you for your time.